Hey, what's going on all you classic Mustang lovers out there? This is Hyder Restorations coming at you for a really quick video on how to install a hood scoop. So I've gotten from Kentucky Mustang, I picked up the GT350 1965 hood scoop that we most commonly see on the fastbacks and the straight coupes. This is obviously a coupe for those of you that are following. And so what I'm going to do is just kind of walk you through the installation. Pretty basic, pretty easy. And this is what it looked like as soon as it was done. So for the GT350 hood scoop, just to give a really quick stat. So you are right now seeing the image of the part number. I picked this up from Kentucky Mustang. I think shipped and out of the door was like $130, $140. I wanted to do the bolt on because obviously this pony is in no way, shape, or form even close to being finished at this point. I am not going to be drilling an air duct or any type of hole in the middle right at this moment. That'll be for another video. And so right now I'm just getting this fitted. I'm going to get this bolted up, get it on for the weekend, go cruise it around. And then at a later date, later video, I'm going to drill just a hole here to allow the engine bay to breathe a little bit better than what it does. All right, so to get started with the install, the first thing I did is I went down to O'Reilly's. And O'Reilly seems to be the place that I go most often. But I picked up some 1/4 M6 stainless steel washers that I'm going to use on the underside of the hood as I fasten the scoop. I also picked up 4 nylon lock nuts. Some of you may or may not agree with that. That's all right. But I wanted to get the 2 in the front that had a little bit more tight grip to it. And then I've also got some Loctite I'm going to use. So I'm going to use these in the 2 front. And then I'm also going to fasten them to the 2 that are full size on this scoop. And then you're going to need a drill bit. I'm actually using a 1/4 on the Kita today to drill the holes that I just did. So following the old adage, measure 15 times and drill once, that's what I did. And so in my measurements, and again, my hood can be different. I've got a 65 coupe. This thing is also 60 years old and may or may not have potentially moved, stretched, settled, or bent in the same ways as yours. But you can see that I am just a hair under 17.5 inches. It's right in between 17.5 and 17.25. And I've got that measurement on both sides. And then if you're gonna go stock, I've had several of these ponies previously. Generally speaking, you wanna go exactly 2 inches from the back of the hood to the front of the scoop. Now, I've done these in the past. I actually prefer the look of 2.5 to 2 3/4. So what I did is I've got 2 1/4 distance between the back and the beginning of the scoop. If you were to look at a factory, you're gonna go 2 inches. Maybe it's just my ride height and everything else, but I prefer 2 1/4. And I like how it sets 1/4 inch further up on the hood. So I drilled them pretty quickly. I didn't use tape. I didn't use all the crazy stuff. What I did is I actually used a permanent marker that I've got in my pocket. And as soon as I measured the hood scoop, and I made sure that, and I don't know how well you're gonna see it on the video, but I wanna make sure that that center line goes straight to the middle of that air duct in the back. And I want to make sure that the crest aligns well with the hood. I went ahead and grabbed a marker, which you can now see here. Sorry guys, there's shadows because we are now in the thralls of wintertime in the Intermountain West. I went ahead and just used a marker, a permanent marker. You can use anything you want, and circle them up. Now, what I didn't do is initially drill the back, and that's where you're gonna see this kind of messy. I'm gonna wipe it off before I actually screw it in and install it. I drilled the 6 up front bolt holes, and then kind of feel like Loctite is good for everything. So you can see that I just dabbled some Loctite on the back and set it gently in the holes after I drilled these, touched them to the back, pulled it up, popped those in, and I'm going to tell you, when you look at my holes, no comment, no joke there, you can see that I only had to drill once and I did not have to widen anything. You can use tape, y'all can use whatever you would like. I prefer to measure 3 to 4 times. I prefer to use a permanent marker, and every time I've done this, I've gotten fairly straight lines. I'm also going to note that this beast is not fully finished. So for those of you that want to go ahead and take extra precautions, that's great. I've also had fully finished paint where I did the exact same thing. Remember that you've got a little bit of variance. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, because you've got at least a quarter, maybe a little bit more clearance between the edge of the scoop and then the bolt hole. And then the other thing I'm not going to be doing is finishing. So you can see that I just used primer, used the same primer that I used on the car. And I go ahead and respray that, get all of the permanent marker bolts off. But yeah, sprayed. I'm going to go ahead and spray around the hood again, just to make sure that I don't have any awkward spray marks. Yes, I did this quick, y'all. I could have gone over to the other side of the yard and potentially sprayed it, but I didn't. So yeah, that's how I did it. We've got 1/4 inch bolts, 1/4 by 20 when you're looking for nuts. I used a 1/4, and again, I mean, the easiest and most efficient way for me to do this, having done it in the past previously, I literally just used a permanent marker, circled up around the holes, and then I drilled, knowing you can see that I've got a little bit of clearance if I needed to open up a little bit more. The one thing I will be doing is I will be spraying over these so I don't get too much rust. And then I am probably going to use a little bit of caulk, outside weather caulk. I know some of you might be just cringing as you're listening to me say this. That's all right, because she's fully primered and this baby isn't going to be in the body shop for at least another year. So that's the basic install, and I'm going to go ahead and tighten it up. All right, and from the other side, y'all can see the hood. So one of the reasons that I like doing 2.5 to 2 1/4, it brings it up off of the frame up here. So if you want to be safe, if you're working with a 65 Mustang, even if you came 3 inches up, you're going to miss the frame. A lot of videos that I watch where folks are going 1 1/4 to like 2 inches from the back of the hood. Sometimes you're going to pull and you might actually have to drill into the undercarriage hood frame, and I don't really like to do that. So not only do I like the look of the way it's sitting, but I'm also able to make sure that I've got full clearance. And so I just wanted to show that to y'all. All right, y'all. So that's the finished project. It's on. It's nicely adhered to the hood. Again, I haven't sanded this thing. I have done absolutely nothing to the exterior of this car. So yeah, turned out really well. Pleased with it. If we're going to be completely honest, that took me less than 30 minutes to install. So I'm guessing somebody who's never put a hood scoop on before, probably an hour deep. If you follow the measurements that we discussed and you pick up the parts beforehand, it should be pretty straightforward. So all right, y'all, thanks for watching. Like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. Continue to post as we work on this Mustang over the next year or two. And Hyder Restoration's out.